Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Washoe, Nevada with me, Arthur Sandcastle. Yeehaw! Whatever. Yeah, the character is here. We're doing some things. We're trying to do, I think we're going to do some, I'm going to get the field seeded, I think that's the plan today. Got it fertilised. Then, what my plan is, because I've now actually had time to actually look into the Realistic Numbers mod, figure out how some of the stuff works and understand certain elements. I've also been able to tweak the map a little bit to make it actually, the mod to make it work with this map in regards to the fields. So, no, you know, I did this earlier. You know, this is take 2, by the way, of me trying to record this. Honestly, take 2. I planted the wrong flipping crop earlier and I just about did it again. I'm not doing wheat because wheat is too cheap. There's no money in wheat. So Arthur Sandcastle is planting canola. But yeah, I figured out how to do the how to simulate the leasing of the land or renting of fields with the Realistic Numbers mod. I was kind of expecting a bit more, I'll be honest. When I heard the whole you can rent fields, I thought it would be a bit like renting and leasing of the equipment in the game. Basically, what I thought, and this is just what I thought, was when you got the map up and you've got all the fields on the map, and you know, you think, oh, you know, I wouldn't mind having maybe that field there. I want to lease it. I would expect to see like an option. You got buy there. I would expect to see like rent, lease. No, that's not how it works. However, because the mod is now enabled and it has set up, I can actually. Now I'm going to check because I don't want to buy a field that I'm not going to harvest. So yeah, I'm going to buy. Oh, sorry, I'm going to rent 16. And I'm going to rent field 5. So those are going to be my fields. If matey should over here with the cotton should decide to, you know, jog on with the cotton and move on with his life and do something a bit more, you know, creative, I may get that field too. And then, so I've got some extra fields because obviously to make money, we're going to need to. And I hate to use this term because I've heard it said to me a lot in the last week, and it grinds me gears. But the term is we're going to turn dirt, make profit. You know, that's apparently the great advice that some people or one individual I've encountered in me farm sim travels in the last week likes to give everybody. Farm, turn dirt, make profit. You know, turn dirt, make profit. It's like, dude, seriously. You know, because I was talking about obviously this map and the Realistic Numbers mod and how challenging it's going to be to make progress on this series and make money, given what we're having to sort of work with and work around. And the guy's attitude was, turn dirt, make profit. And it's like, dude, seriously, it's going to take a lot of fucking turning dirt to make profit on this map with this mod installed. We're not talking, you know, and also, you know, not wanting to disrespect the guy in any way, but I would imagine I've got a lot more hours clocked in the game than he has at this point, coming up to nearly 1,300 hours in Farming Sim 19 on Steam alone. So for me, coming into a map, any map, however new it may be, whether it be an ALiEN JiM map, whatever, or any kind of game, if I come into a map and all I'm going to be doing is driving up and down fields, turning dirt to make profit, I'm going to get bored very quickly now. I can't play the game that way anymore. I've done that. I've done the grind. I've done the I've done the circle, you know, that vicious circle in the game of plough, cultivate, seed, fertilise, harvest, repeat. Plough, cultivate, seed, fertilise, harvest, repeat, you know. Sure, it's a great tip to throw out to people who are new to farming sim, who haven't played the game before, or don't have a lot of experience with the game. It is a great way for them to make progress early on in the game, early on in their life when they're not sure how certain things work. Just do that circle of plough, cultivate, seed, fertilise, harvest, repeat. You'll make a lot of money over time, and then you can start to explore and, you know, play with other things and get into other things and learn and stuff like that. But when someone's got, you know, 1,300 hours in the game, they're not really looking to spend all their time plough, cultivate, seed, fertilise, harvest, repeat, you know. Especially, like you say, if I'm playing on this map with the Realistic Numbers mod, and the prices and everything are absolutely ludicrous. Right, there's something I need to do as well before I forget, because I had this issue earlier. Now, is that the one? Fertiliser rates. Right, so I'm planting canola, and I'm doing it with normal fertiliser. So I need to be 0.7. Right. So I need to change my spray rate, because right now I'm not spraying anything. So I need, what are we looking for? 1,000 litres per hectare. Wow, that seems awfully high to me. 1,000 litres per hectare for corn. I may have got this, I may be getting this wrong, and if I am, I'm quickly going to realise it, because this thing will probably dump all its fertiliser in about 5 yards. And again, this comes back to the Realistic Numbers mod. I think the mod obviously wants to do great things. I think the author behind the Realistic Numbers mod has really, you know, obviously got quite a bit of intelligence to him to create such a mod. The fact he's gone to the lengths to create a, you know, 69-page PDF document to try and explain how the mod works, how to use the mod, how to do things, is terrific. However, I do also feel perhaps just slightly maybe that when it comes to some of the aspects of the mod, it could probably really do with, I don't know whether that he has the ability to do so, but it might be an idea for him to actually do maybe some videos to showcase and explain the mod in action, so people can actually see and understand what it is they're supposed to be doing. Because I must admit, looking at the fertilising stuff, the stuff to do with fertilising, replenishing nutrients on fields after you've harvested, before you plant your next crop, and then applying the right fertiliser, that stuff could do with probably could do with a bit of a video guide, I think. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's me reading the old PDF document, but something's getting lost in translation somewhere, I think, in that sense. And again, I've got all the mods installed that he's asked me to install, like the variable spray usage and variable bale capacity and things like that. However, at no point does the guy then go on to explain how you're actually supposed to use those to achieve the effects that he's trying to simulate in game. And that's the bit I'm kind of stuck with, because admittedly the first time I tried to record this episode, this is, as I say, this is take 2 of me recording episode 3. I seeded this field. I seeded it with the wrong crop because I forgot to change the seed type, but I seeded the whole field and never used a single drop of fertiliser. didn't use any fertiliser in the CD, yet the field showed up as being fertilised. And I'm like, okay, how's that work? But anyway, I've got a plan. Get this field planted, seeded. I've also increased the time scale a bit. So we are going to be rolling and cooking at a slightly better speed. Which means I'm going to get through this day. And which means, effectively, I'm going to be getting through the first month of the game. We're moving into month 2 tomorrow. Because as I said before, Realistic Numbers divide your gameplay and game time up so that each day is 1 month, 12 days is a year. And that affects how a lot of things work, prices, yields. I mean, things like your field yield, I don't think I mentioned this in a previous video, but how much crop you get off a field will vary of a crop. So like if I plant canola on this now, and you know, it's all well and good, then in the next year of the game, when I plant canola and I harvest the canola, I may not get the same amount of canola off the field, even if I've done everything correctly, like ploughing it, liming it, fertilising it, all that stuff. I will not get the same amount, because every year, every 12 days, the mod changes the prices of everything, changes all the figures. So how much crop you yield. Now, if you're in a situation where you've planted a crop, you could be in a situation where you've planted a crop and you're hoping to harvest it in the next year. You could find that crop, the yield is very poor. Because you cross over that 12-day period from one year into next, suddenly that crop you planted, hoping to harvest next year, in the next year, the next 12-day cycle, suddenly becomes a very poor performing crop for you, because the yield drops. Alternatively, you could be in a situation where you plant a crop and you're kind of like, meh, it's a bit of a throwaway crop. And again, because you cross over that 12-day period and go into a new year, suddenly that crop has a big bumper yield in that year, and you've suddenly gone, whoa, I've got a bonus. Brucey bonus time, you know? I've also looked out and seen and studied up how things kind of work. So another thing I'm going to be doing, like I say, once I've got this field prepped and seeded, I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of my equipment. I'm going to take most of the starting equipment down to the store. It sounds terrible me saying that. I'll take it down to the store, and I'm going to sell it off, and then I'm just going to lease. Because, again, how Realistic Numbers has changed the leasing system and the leasing, the way leasing works in the game. Long-term leasing is actually not a bad thing now. It's not, leasing is not going to be an option for people looking to get a tractor or a piece of machine to maybe do just to do one contract. So definitely with Realistic Numbers, do not borrow or lease equipment for contracts, because that will absolutely cost you a fortune. And the same way for the people who think, oh, I'm just going to borrow this machine, do this field and return it. Again, if you're one of those types of players, Realistic Numbers is going to absolutely cripple you. Because borrowing a machine just for one day is going to be, you're going to fork out a lot of money up front, and you're not going to get any reward for it. Whereas long-term leasing, if you borrow a machine and you have it for several days, you pay a little bit of money up front, but you don't pay so much money now per day, and you don't pay so much money per hour. So you pay more up front, but then it's not costing you as much then per hour and per day. So effectively, it becomes cheaper to run leased equipment. So you might as well hang on to leased equipment. Don't invest and put all your money up front into buying a machine when you could lease one at a fraction of the price and pay, you know, better daily fees and operating fees. You can then save your capital for doing the things that you need to do, like buying your supplies, your fertilizers, your seeds that you're going to need, your water, your fuel, all that other good stuff. And get this field done. Another thing I did earlier as well when I first tried to record this video, I did make a mistake when I went into the... I leased some equipment from the store thinking this is going to be good, this is going to be a good addition to the farm, it's going to be great, it's going to help me out. And I didn't really check the small print in the store, so I ended up leasing or buying a seeder that didn't fertilise as it seeds. You know, one of them awful seeders where it's like, this actually doesn't fertilise whilst I'm putting my crop down, sort of thing. How am I going to fix this? So actually, the fact that my video actually screwed up anyway, and I've had to come back, roll back the save game from the save game backup folder, and I get to record this video again. It means I can correct the wrongs that I made. You know, I could do like a Sam Beckett quantum leap type deal and not make the same mistakes again. I think the only vehicle out of the starting fleet that I will be keeping will be the Stayer tractor and the tippy truck. Everything else is going to go, and it's going to be replaced. The Stayer will get modified. It will get taken to the workshop, and I'll get the spanners on it and give it a bit of a tweak and adjustment and a bit of a tune-up to make it do what I want it to do. So I'm going to be fitting skinny wheels on it so it can be a fertilising machine. I'm also going to be fitting a front loader attachment on it because, you know, we may need to move pallets and stuff eventually in time, especially when I'm picking stuff up from the store and bringing it over to the back to the farm, with supplies and stuff. And also come in useful when I need to like do the animals, feed the animals, clean the animals and all that good stuff. Which is another thing I've yet to touch on, but I think I understand how the animals work as well with this mod, and how I have to shuffle the animals around, and basically I have to buy the right colour animals to achieve the right thing. No longer are the colour of the animals meaningless. The coloured animals actually have a purpose now because it differentiates between certain stages of an animal's life. So what you do is like you buy like say the normal white pigs or pink pigs or whatever they are. Those are your younglings, and then after a couple of in-game days you replace those with the more mature pigs, and then after a couple of days you replace them again with the another colour pigs. You keep them for a period, and then you replace them with the last load of pigs, and then finally you sell all them off and you start the process again. And that simulates like the correct like birthing cycles of the animals and aging cycles of the animals, and obviously their production will vary depending on how old they are. Obviously somebody could come in and game the system and just decide to pick the best animal and just fill a pen up with hundreds of the best animal, never bother doing the whole swapping or replacing thing. But you know, where's the fun in that? We're supposed to be playing realistic numbers here and get all the benefits of the extra production and stuff. Yeah, somebody probably will, if those people, because you know there's always those people that like to cheat the game the game. Right, We've got seed down. Good. It's taken me 20 minutes to seed this field because I hate this seeder, and I hate seeding now that I don't have GPS. I forgot. I've become really reliant on GPS. The guidance steering mod. I can't remember how it was all those months ago playing this game without guidance steering. Somehow we did it, but I don't enjoy trying to do it now. Get this seeded. We can turn the help menu off. I'm sorry if that's been on all the time. Haven't been paying attention. Trying to make sure I don't miss too much of this field with my canola. Otherwise, that's going to be even worse if I don't plant. If Arthur doesn't plant it properly. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Arthur. Arthur Sandcastle. You make sure you seed this field. Well, there's going to be a whipping, boy. There must be a bit down here somewhere that I haven't done. Looks like over here. Where I've gone a bit wobbly. I'll just follow this down. Down, deeper and down. I've barely used any seed. But we've used a ton of fertiliser. Right. This is what I did earlier, and I'm going to do it again. I'm not going to make the same mistake again though, as it pertains to other bits and pieces. So I'm going to come in here first of all, and if I unload the fertiliser, I unload the fertiliser. If I don't, okay, didn't really work. Right, I'm going to grab myself. I'm going to grab myself and the subsoiler. I can pick the subsoiler up on the yeah. I can pick the subsoiler up on the front. Not a problem. I'm going to go down to the shop. Basically, selling all this lot off. All this is getting sold for whatever the shop will pay me for it. Not going to argue over prices. Whatever it is, it is. And then I'm going to lease a whole brand new batch of vehicles. Like I say, long-term lease for the whole series. I'll just be leasing equipment after that. I'm not going to buy anything. Not going to buy anything vehicle-wise. It's all going to be leased. Let's keep our overheads down. And let's just try and make profit without having to turn dirt. And do the cycle. Do this vicious circle. Plough, cultivate, seed, fertilise, harvest, repeat. Drop that one there. Drop that one there. Switch her off. All those should hopefully sell. Perfect. 32 grand, 10 grand, 120 grand. We've got a bit of money. Woo! We're in the money. We're in the money. Okay. So with those equipment and items sold, let's go and lease some new bits and pieces for the farm. So first of all, let's get ourselves a medium tractor. We'll go for the 6R. We will have it with GPS. We won't bother having it with a front loader, because that's not cool. We will then get a cultivator. I believe I have one in here somewhere. Is it a cultivator I want? Or was it a subsoiler? Might have been a subsoiler. 6 metre job. That'll do. At least one of them. Right, what was next on my list of things that I picked up earlier? Was it a disc harrow? So subsoiler instead of a plough. And then we've got a cultivator if we just want to cultivate. Perfect. Right, and this is what we can do, because we can pick this up on the front. Put that one back. Now I hopefully have the power in that one tractor to run all these equipments. 6 metres, 6 metres. So actually, with this machine, in this setup, I could subsoil and cultivate in one stage. We could plough, we could basically effectively plough subsoil in one handy. Oops, sorry. I put my beacons on. In one process, in one stage. Bring this back to the farm. Then we'll bring down, we'll take the stayer over to the pickup truck, because we can modify that at the farm, unless, I'm just trying to think, unless it's better for me to take that to the shop. Just wondering how I'm going to do it. How's best to do it? Because if I'm going to fit it with a front load of forks, I'm going to need to pick up those forks from the store if I'm going to get a front loader. But I'm going to put the skinny wheels on it, so we've got this as a fertiliser, because this is going to be our smallish tractor. A smallish tractor. So quickly do that. Plug him in here. Like so. Come back here. Still got the key bind. I did have to set that up, it wasn't default. Narrow tyres, I'm going to put GPS on it. I am going to give it an engine boost, and I'm going to fit it with a front loader. Customise. That's 21 grand. I have paid for the privilege of doing that. Right. Next bit of kit. So actually, I will take this down to the store, because A, I'm going to need to pick up my front loader and forks, pallet forks. Again, earlier on when I tried this in my first initial attempt at recording this video, I bought a completely different tractor. I bought a JCB Fast Track, put a front loader on it, and I bought a bucket. And then when I got back to the farm, I was like, how am I going to move pallets with a bucket? That doesn't really work, does it? But we'll go and have a look. Give way. Excellent stuff. Right, so this guy's going to have the task as well. Is he going to? What am I going to put on the back again? Will I need a weight for this? For this, if I'm going to be, I'm going to. Oh, fertilizer. Fertilizer. Now we've got. No, we haven't got a spreader, have we? Let's think about this. So we're going to want front loader forks. I'll have the stole ones. And then I'm going to want forks. Right, then I went for fertilising technology because we don't have any way of fertilising outside of actually seeding at this point. And I went for, and we also don't have lime spreading. So what I think I'm doing is I'm going for that option. Perfect. So I've leased the front loader forks that we're going to need for various different things. Whilst I'm here, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to, if I'm going to fill that spreader up with lime. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. I think there's that holds 14,000 litres. If it doesn't, then I'll be taking a pallet back on the forks with me and putting it into the silo. Now using the same button to fill vehicles as I use for turning on and off my GPS, by the way, which is why I got that create a track message then. Somebody, the guy I play with on my multiplayer server, Helgi, he says, oh yeah, use the L3 button on your controller for turning GPS on and off. It's not bound to anything else, it doesn't affect anything else in game, apart from filling vehicles. So every time you try to fill a vehicle, you get the warning, you must create a track first. Careful, don't bump the pallets. So we're at 42% at 6,000, so yeah, it probably holds about 4,000 pallets, 4,000 litres, 14,000 litres, should I say. Which will be enough for me to take this back to where I need to take it. We'll have lime for when we need to do liming. So what I'm also trying to do here, by the way, is not only build up a good fleet of vehicles for myself to use on my farm, but also then if I do decide I need to go and do some contracts to make a bit of money, I'm not going to have to. I've got the machinery already on my farm. That's perfect. So we need to drive back, get this parked, and then I'm going to bring the harvester down. I'm going to sell the harvester and the header. I'm also then going to get I'm going to make sure, because obviously at the minute we've only got corn header, obviously, and having just planted canola, I'm going to need a normal header. So I'm going to make sure I buy a corn header, or not buy, lease a corn header and a regular header, so at least I can do all the crop types. What's going on? Yeah, turn the indicator off. I'm surprised there's no beacons on the back of this spreader. That's caught me a little bit by surprise. So anyway, we've got our first crop in the ground. Woohoo! As we're halfway through the first month of the game. And people are going to be like, first month of the game? Yeah, I reiterate again that 1 day in game is the equivalent of 1 month for realistic numbers. So if I play for a week, that's 7 months. That puts me in about July. That's there. I can switch that off. Guy back in here. Right, so we've got one tractor with a subsoiler and a cultivator on it. I haven't forgot I need a seeder and a planter. Technically I don't think there's a one size fits all in those. I don't think I can find one machine that's going to do both, so I'm going to need a seeder and a planter, obviously. So, might need another tractor or two. I'm also not entirely sure. So we've got the 6R. That's going to be our sort of middle of the road, good kind of workhorsey little tractor. So it might be a case of grab a 7R next, then maybe look at an 8R or a 9R, and just have a little. I don't need too much too soon though, because that's the problem. If I get too many vehicles, I'm going to be paying leasing for stuff I'm not actually using and working, because we only have access to certain fields. So that's field 4. This is the one which is going to have the cotton on it, isn't it, in a little while, once the guy grows it. We've got some lime, we've got some fertiliser, we've got some seed. Trying to think what else we're going to need long term. We're going to need to be able to transport water and fuel at some point. That's going to be critical as well for us. So this is getting sold. That's getting sold. Done. 119,000 for those two. Right. Harvester. There ain't going to be any decision making because, as I say, I've done this once before. Standard. Lease. Yes. Corn headers. It's going to be the 9 metre or 6 metre? I'm going to go 9. Put it in John Deere green. Make it green. Release that. Headers, I'm going to go for an iconic one. Again, I'm going to go 9 metres. I'm going to go John Deere. Rim colour, I'm going to go yellow. to come out and go back in because I can't get to the colour I want to get to. John Deere. That's going to be yellow. That's going to be... to make it onyx. Yeah. And then make that little John Deere. Lease. Perfect. So that's the harvester taken care of. Right, large tractor. Let's go for a 7R. Standard. Can put wheel weights on it. Global. That's going to be a lease. Let's have a look. 8R there. Do I have a modded one though? 9RT. Got the ooh, big chunky tyres and weights. You know what? I'm thinking I'm having it with those on. Right, that kind of works. Obviously, we could always come back to one of these a bit later on if we want to. Weights. Pump that up. Right. So we need cedar. So that's the one I bought earlier. Doesn't do fertilising. So I'm not having that one. I'm trying to think what horsepower we've got. That's going to do, that's 280. That looks to me like it's a goer. And lastly, we want a planter. So we got any planters apart from... Well, they're expensive. The Vadastat 12 metre jobby is one thing. Requires 300 horsepower, or there's the... So that doesn't fertilise. It's got to be a fertiliser, so it's probably going to be the Vadastat, I think. I don't even have the horse pack installed on this server, so I can't use the horse planter. The 12 metre jobby one. So it's probably going to be that. Or if I'm keeping with the John Deere theme, I can probably get away with... I can probably get away with one of them. 18 metres is a big cedar though. Right. So we'll take... What should I say? Not a cedar, big planter. We'll take the harvester back. I already know where I'm going to put the trailed header, the grain header. I know where that's going. What's coming? Excellent. Turn the GPS off for now, don't need it. Gonna have to do that on every vehicle. Sorry for people. So we've got a seeder now that can do seeding. We've got a planter that can do planting. We don't necessarily have massive fields, but something we might have down the road. Just caught the tree this time. If I come through here, basically I can put my header trailer there for when I need to do me crop harvesting. Right, hop out of that. Right, we need to go back to the shop now because we need another we need our old boy tractors. There we go. 7R. And the 7R is going to take this tractor right here. So put the beacons on so people are aware. Put the indicator on. And cars coming. Excellent. We're doing well. So I'm slowly getting my fleet of equipment built up. Again, turn the GPS off for now, don't need it. As I go past the fertiliser shed, I will grab that little bit of seed and a little bit of fertiliser that we emptied from the other machine. And that's going to give me a little bit of a head start next time I come to seed and plant stuff. We fill this up with fertiliser. This will eat pretty much all the fertiliser we've got in stock, probably. Close to. And the seed building was... spot the mistake. I ain't getting through there. Seed building was over here. There's a couple of trees which are already looking like being candidates for being sawed up. Because I can't get into some of these areas very easily now. Wow, this thing doesn't turn very well. I think I went up a little bit overboard with the starting. That is the seed shed, isn't it? Yeah, it's got to be. This has got to be the seed shed. However, I can't find a trigger for it. Ah, it's because I've got to open the covers. Ah, okay. They didn't open manually. Now, I don't know where I'm going to park this, because I don't think it will fit in the shed. Might do. Might do, we'll see. Right, let's bring the 8R. and our lovely planter. I'm not going to bother filling this up, however, until we need it. Oh, of course, you can unfold the tractor, look. Isn't that nice? Back at the farm. I'm starting to add a bit of greenery to the map. We're starting to add a bit of green to the desert, aren't we? Ooh. That might make for a screenshot. There we go. Right, well, at this point, I think I'm going to call this episode to an end here, because we've got the field replanted, we've had the equipment shuffled around, we are kind of ready. The next time I bring you back for episode 4, I will have gone through the night time. It will be the second day in-game, aka second month. So we'll see what we're going to do, what we need to do. As I say, I've rented some fields, which to me, one could be ready for harvesting fairly soon. We have got grass over here, by the way. So we can buy, we've got grass. I'll also, probably in episode 4, go over and see the animal pens and stuff. Buy slurry and manure down there. That could be useful. And like I say, we'll have a look at what is going to be fairly effective. Well, say eggs look to be amazing price on the map. Looking at some of the other stuff, fuel's a pretty good price on the map. If I could make fuel, if I've got a diesel building at all, which could mean trying to find room on the farm for something like this. We've certainly got room. Might be on this truck for a start. That could be really cheeky and put it and clip it through the tree into the other shed. That'd give us loads of area. That would be what, 125 grand though, but then I could make food, I could make fuel, I could make pig food from canola and soybeans. And obviously fuel we can sell for good money. See, this is, you've got to be thinking now production chains all the time now. So anyway, thank you everyone for viewing today's video. This has been part 3 in my Washoe, Nevada Let's Play series. The Washoe, Nevada map, of course, the brand new map from ALiEN JiM, which you can find on the in-game mod hub on PC or consoles. If you've liked the video, as I say, please go ahead, click that like button. If you've got any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, anything you want to say to me at all, please feel free to drop it in the comment section down below. I do like to read people's comments, and I do often reply to them. Also, if you're not doing so currently, please go ahead, click that subscribe button on the channel. That way you get to stay up to date and notified whenever I post new content and new episodes in this Let's Play series. I've been CWATTYESO, but for now, it is goodbye.